Hello, hello, hello. And I am Pastor Rhonda, the founder of Celebrate Life and your host for Celebrate Life Today. Today, we have a very, very interesting conversation around building the mental health of our young people. We have individuals from Dove Club, and we have one individual from the Los Angeles Urban League. So I am so, so excited to be with you all and for you to be with me. And we're just going to go ahead and toss it over to Susan Jackson.
Thank you, Pastor Rhonda, and thank you for having me on your show today. I am very grateful to share Dove Club. So let me give you a little background about Dove, which stands for Daughters of Virtue. Let me take it back. Let me give you a little bit about myself before I start, then I'll tie in Dove. I've been in education over 20 years, working with diverse families and students. And currently, I am a student at National University, finishing up my master's in educational counseling. So, going back to Dove, I'd like to share how it got started. Um, I started at a Christian school I was working in, teaching fifth grade. And we noticed, a teacher and I, a co-teacher and I, noticed the behavior of some of the girl students. So at that time, Beyonce's song, I think it was Drunk in Love, was out, and the girls were singing it, and they were acting a certain way. And so my co-teacher came to me and she said, "Have you been seeing some differences in the girls?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "We need to do something about that." And so we decided to do a club during lunchtime. So we took our lunch time and we had the girls bring their lunch to our classes. And we started to talk about etiquette and hygiene and academics. And so it became such a big thing for 6 weeks, a great big thing. The girls enjoyed it. They began to really bond and have a sisterhood. So Dove is just that. It's a sisterhood, and that's how it originated. Um, After I left the school, Dove was on the shelf for a while. And I went to a charter school. So I left a Christian school, went to a public charter school, and I still noticed some behaviors in the girls. So I talked to the principal at that time and I asked him, could I bring Dove as an after school program? And he was like, yes, but there's some things I'd like you to change and focus on.
Oh,
Charter school, it was more so not the etiquette part and the Christian values, which still stands, but it was more so of leadership and academics. So I went back to the table and rewrote Dove. And I was thinking, how can I help the inner city girls become better and break those barriers and biases and stereotypes? So Dove stands on 6 tenets, which is academic, leadership, social media responsible usage, etiquette, community service, and emotional intelligence. And now entrepreneurship is being added. So we stand on those 7 tenets because we believe that we can mentor well-rounded young ladies with these 7 tenets. And so Dove is an 8-week session, and we discuss these 7 tenets. So right now we are finishing up our social media responsible usage, discussing with the girls good and not so good things about social media, and having a phone and having a computer and all what that looks like, and friending and the different aspects of Facebook and Instagram. So Dove is a place where you can come and feel accepted. It's a club where you will build friendship and a sisterhood, and it's a lifelong process. It's not about the 8 weeks, oh, see you later, bye. It's about, I want to know how you're doing in school. I want to know how you're doing at home. I want to connect with your parents. I want to help be that lifelong partner or mentor for you. And that's our goal at Dove. That's what we do. And so for our seasonal Dove events, we do give back by back to school events. with giving out backpacks and school supplies, Thanksgiving, giving out food, and also during Christmas time, we have our toy drive giveaway, which I partner up with Pastor Pat, the New Mount Salem New Wave Baptist Church, and so I'm able to give gifts in a way where it's not about like, oh, here's a gift for you. This is, I'm Santa Claus, but it's really the meaning of I'm in the community. We're here to help you. So yeah, Dove is here, and Dove is here to stay. And we are looking for young women from the ages of 10 to 18 to service and mentor and guide throughout their life and help them in their womanhood. And the V in virtuous, not that you're going to be perfect and be like, oh, here comes so and so, she thinks she's all that. It's not about that. It's about having a virtuous character about yourself, knowing who you are when you step in the room, knowing who you are when you're in the classroom, knowing who you are wherever you go. You have values, and you're a virtuous young lady. So those are the kind of things that Dove instill in young ladies.
Awesome. So you said it's an after school program?
It is an after school program for 8 weeks, and we discuss the topics of our tenants. And we have workshops where we're interactive, so we have activities, especially crafts. I think that's one thing that young girls don't do anymore are crafts. So we do things with we make flowers out of origami paper. We make bracelets. We draw. We're creative with our hands. So and then we have a culmination at the end, and we have our affirmation, and we have our sisterhood affirmation, our connection at the end. So we're definitely a connective club, and we believe in staying together in unity.
So how long can a young lady be a part of this program? Is it just while they're in that particular school? Or do you carry on for alumni? Do you go longer than the the 12th grade?
Yes, so here's what happens. We have seasonal doves. I have doves that are in their 20s, and we do virtual sessions where we talk about mental health and the issues that they are facing, relationships, school, college, and we have some of the seasoned dove women talk to them about life issues. So we're very connected throughout the lifespan. And so what I usually do after our 8 week session, I have one-on-one conversations with the young ladies, meetings where I talk to them about school, how are they feeling, what they're doing, try to involve them in different activities, music, to find their interests, so that when they are in school, they're not just going home and playing a video game, but you're actually being active in something, whether you like singing, music, you're an artist, whatever it is, dancing. Um, I like to find those things out and really help them blossom in that. So, Dove again is a lifelong connection.
So you say, but it's an after school program at a particular school.
Dove is
How would I get in? How would I get my daughter in if she doesn't go to that school?
well, Dove is mobile. So if a particular school wants to move into their after school program, we will set up a date for an 8 week session, our months, and Dove will come to the school. And we're also virtual. So we're able to be very flexible. We have a very flexible schedule. So we will come to you. We will come to you physical, in person, or we will come to you online. So I thank God for the fact that we can be virtual now, because I can reach more young ladies. And that's,
Awesome. Awesome.
and
All
while
right.
and while I'm here, I will be remiss if I did not introduce my board member, Mr. Steve. He is my partner education uh, partner educator in crime. Excuse me. And he's part of the Dove education component. So he's going to explain what his role is, and how to help the young ladies' educational life.
Awesome.
All right.
Hello, Mr. Steve.
Good morning, Pastor. How are you this morning?
Simply marvelous.
Good. So, as Miss Susan had mentioned, yes. So the education component is a vital piece of the Dove Club as well. And what we do is, as we're meeting with the girls and getting to know them, finding out what their interests are, how they learn best, then what we do is we take that survey that they complete, and then we find schools that match their personalities and their learning styles and their interests, so that they can see the variety of colleges, what those campuses offer as far as their majors, areas of study, so that the ladies can understand that, wow, okay, I can get a degree in this area, and it's something that I like, it's something that I enjoy. And that tends to excite them a lot more about actually applying and wanting to go to school, because a lot of them sometimes have this impression that school is just going to be like it is now, where you're just listening to a teacher, it's lecturing, you're doing reports, and then you turn them in and you get a grade. No, when you're in college, you can focus on actually something you like. And then as you move up the ranks, when you go into those higher degrees, it really hones in and focuses on what it is that you are interested in. So, talking more about the grad programs of your masters, and then for those who do go on to get their doctorates, which we do see a lot of people now. If you're watching the news and looking on social media, a lot of young people now are taking it past that master's and going straight to that doctoral program. So, which is a good thing. We're glad to see that.
It's a
So,
really good thing. I'm noticing that I have a student right now who is actually going to have her AA before she has her high school diploma, only because of dates of graduation. But if they're being able to complete components of college while in high school, one that's going to cut college costs possibly.
Right, right.
yes.
And then that will let them say, oh, that 2 years, that was quick. It's easy now to go on with further education.
Exactly. And that's one of the components that we bring in our Dove Club is when we partner with the schools, we also have connections with some of the local JCs within the area. And that's the component that we bring in through the education part of Dove, where we partner that school with that local JC. And as long as the students meet the requirements of that local JC, they're able to be dually enrolled, where they're taking their coursework at school still, but then they're also able to take those courses at the JC, so that they can, like you just stated, graduate both with their AA and high school diploma at the same time.
So are the college courses virtual? Is that how they're able to do this? Or are they at night? How are the students having to be on campus? And I think that might be a challenge. As a parent, I might hesitate thinking my child is going to be roaming the school, with older people and I'm not there. How does that handle?
Well, because of the pandemic, we all know that a lot everything had to go virtual for a moment. So that was when a lot of the students, with some guidance, took advantage of that, because there wasn't anybody on campus. So a lot of the universities, if not all of them, had to switch over to that virtual platform. That's what gave a lot of students more access to being able to take these courses online. There were some that were already doing it prior to the pandemic, but this really opened up the door for a lot of the students to have more of a variety of where they could choose to go. And so once they pass those assessment tests, then they're able to enroll. They're taking a look at the courses that they want to take, and then they're able to do it online. So that way they're doing it from the comfort of their home, just as if a regular college student who was doing their undergraduate work, or even those parents and students who are doing graduate work online. There's a lot of schools now that have that online platform that makes it accessible for students and adults.
Awesome.
And
All
it's
right.
really helpful too, especially for those students who are advanced and can do the work and be dual at the same time. They're in high school and yet they can attend the JC as well. And it can work. And by the time they're finished, they do have their AA degree. I think that's the goal. And that's one of the things, being an intern at Southwest College, I would really like to focus in on, is how to get some of the Dove girls there to complete some of their AA courses.
And I see this as being a way of not holding back some of our advanced children.
Mhm.
Because
Yes.
I could remember now, I'm not really all that smart, but when I was in school, there were a lot of times, especially in summer school, I'm like, you know what, this stuff is boring. I already know this stuff. I can do it with my eyes closed. I don't have to do homework. So having an advanced child who is able and can handle the load of going to school, high school, and taking college courses and being able to progress further, that has just got to be put a challenge on our young people and letting them be able to see where they can use the knowledge that they have, apply it, and
Mhm.
then go forward. Because we actually have some young people who are doing high school, college classes, and working.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. During this pandemic, I have to say a lot of the students, they did take advantage of the time that they had during this time, and so a lot of them were able to see avenues that weren't available to them necessarily before. So that's why a lot of them went on and just signed up for the coursework. Some of them even found jobs, and they're doing their high school coursework all at the same time. And for the ones who are doing it, the ones who are mentoring, a lot of them are saying that, Mr. Steve, this is not as challenging as I thought it was going to be because I'm able to manage my time the way that it's convenient and conducive for my life. So some of them are they're doing their high school stuff in the morning. They're doing their college course in the afternoon and then working at night just a few hours. And then they still are getting their sleep, still able to be with their family and get up and do it all over again the next day. And it doesn't bother them, especially since they know they're getting that check. So,
Now, which check are they getting?
that's true. They might be getting two checks, huh?
I actually had a conversation with a couple of young people, and I know this is not about Dove or Urban League, but it's affecting the children that we're working with. Um, and there's a lot of young people who have to go to summer school this year.
Yeah.
Mainly, it sounded like they didn't understand or didn't take advantage of COVID and internet learning, distant learning, or their family didn't quite understand how important it was to continue their learning. Some people just had bad Wi Fi, some people didn't have the equipment. I know a lot of schools supplied equipment, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it worked well at home. Some of the guidelines that the schools put on the students was too lenient.
Mhm.
And so because of that, here 6 months goes by, a year goes by, and it's like,
Yep.
okay, in
behind
order
on
for you to
everything.
go to the next level, you got to go to summer school.
Hmm.
What, say that again, Mr. Mika?
I said behind on everything, all the work. That's what we're seeing a lot because it wasn't clear about the requirements to the students or the parents, and so folks are getting that sticker shock right now, coming back and saying, "Oh, your credit's short," or "Oh, your grades are not what you want them to be on your college applications," right? And so folks are now having to take that summer school to make up those D's and some of the credits that they didn't quite understand over the course of the past, 6 months, 12 months.
Right, because they also said that it was only going to be a pass fail system. Either you did it or you didn't. I don't understand how that part could be scored, but I'm not a teacher either. So,
Yeah. It varied by school and by
Yes.
district, which is unfortunate. There's a lot of, so you might be hearing your girlfriend or somebody at church saying one thing, but that doesn't necessarily apply to your district. And then charter schools were operating under also different rules. And so it depends on the school, the district, and really sometimes even the teacher, because the teacher could actually, uh, petition to get a different kind of grading schedule. So it really was up to the parents to understand what was going on and the students to kind of be accurately reporting that. And we know as parents with kid in school, we know that's not a good accountability system. So that's where folks are left right now.
so as we talk, bringing in the parents just for a moment,
Mhm.
Hmm.
I feel sorry for the parents. I really do. Some of them kind of figured it out pretty quick, but here they had to figure out how to work from home, figure out how to babysit their children longer than normal. They had to set up environment at home, learning environments at home. I went to visit a family member yesterday and they literally had a school desk in the living room. I'm like, yes, I used to have one of these. I actually sat there while I was there visiting yesterday. But they had to create an environment for the students to be able to work from home. And there was just so much to juggle. How do you get them to sit in front of a computer and they're not playing on the games? Or how do you keep them from being distracted? How do you keep them in that chair? Because you're on your own Zoom meeting. You have your own work to do. You have to go to work. So who's really going to be there with the child? There's that COVID. There's so much
Yeah.
to our household environments. Is
Absolutely.
there
And
any? Mhm.
yeah, I was going to say you're bringing up a really great point and kind of thinking about the summer, because that's why I was really excited to be here. First of all, thank you, Pastor Rhonda, for inviting me. I'm Jamika Marshall. I'm Director of Programs for the Los Angeles Urban League. And I was really excited to participate in this conversation because you're exactly right. A lot of this stuff is on parents, and we aren't being told that we have a new responsibility in this education kind of, situation. And so in thinking about this last year and kind of, okay, some of the pitfalls, that makes it even more important that we start being proactive about what are our students going to do over the summer, because now we don't have the summer after school programs. The teachers aren't handing out the materials. Folks are coming to the Urban League wondering, are the parks open? Are they virtual for the after school? What's going on? And so parents have to really be proactive in thinking about that, because it's definitely a need and a necessity. What we found the most is students who struggled the most were the ones who didn't have the structures and the discipline, right? And so the example you gave of the parent with the desk, they're winning. They're up, they're 3,000. They're on year 3,021, and the rest of us are on 2021, because that's showing that you are really taking this structure and this discipline. Like, oh, it's not flop down in the morning whenever you wake up, plop. No, there's a classroom. There's an expectation, right? That we're going to sit in a certain way. We're going to be up, prepared, and ready. And so that everything about that scenario is doubly true and is as true for the summer. Parents don't get the summer off. Parents still got to work.
Oh,
And so you don't have, in this busy world that we all have, you don't have all that it takes to give a young person the type of, support and mental support and guidance and guardrails that they need. And so it's really important to have that village, right? And so back in my day, we had Vacation Bible School, right? And we had different things, but grandmama was already calling the church before school got out. What's going on with Vacation Bible School, so we could get the kids in the list and do those things. And so it's the same thing. We need that structure. We need that engagement. And so that's why it's really important for the Urban League to have these summer programs available. And I could talk a little bit about them if
that's
now's a
good.
good time. So
Now's a good time.
great. So we are still actually recruiting for our summer programs right now. Typically at this point, by the time the school is out, we're really at capacity, but kind of given the scenario that Pastor Rhonda just talked about with folks, kind of more folks being pushed into, not, I don't want to say push, but actually needing summer school this year. We haven't had as much of a response, but we know that there are folks out there who still want to participate in these programs. So we definitely want to get the word out. Our programs, I really appreciate what Ms. Jackson was talking about in terms of, the type of really well-rounded programs that she's offering. Is not about whatever kind of content that you're getting, whether it be arts or crafts or technology and or college prep. It's really about, are folks really thinking about the whole child, what we call, the whole person, the whole family, and what folks are going through? We know that in our community, typically when we're not accessing these things, whether it be arts or academics, one of the issues is that there's other barriers kind of preventing us from doing so, right? We're living in the home, we're living in the neighborhood, or we're living under existing circumstances that are really preventing us and young folks, high school students, junior high school students, from really taking the time and the energy they need to focus on something, and preventing parents from finding it and finding all about it. We get parents all the time who come into the Urban League and say, oh, well, can I get this? Or well, that program's over, or, the enrollment's over. Well, I didn't know about it. I didn't know about it. And so, issue is that, we just don't have a lot of the time and capacity, to kind of know about it, is one thing. And so we really want to make sure that, so I want to talk about how the Urban League is kind of approaching that. So we have a couple of programs that I want to highlight um, over the summer. We actually have 3 programs that are operating this summer. Uh, we're recruiting for our Urban Bridge Builders program, which is a virtual high school summer camp. Um, it focuses on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And this session is going to span topics such as, medical, computer science, high tech kind of electrical and power digital, electronics, physics, aerospace, and transportation and logistics. And so we're going to have professionals from each of these kind of subject areas come in and work with our professors and instructors who run the program, to really have hands-on trainings and workshops and classes with students, and then also show the students kind of what Mr. Steve was talking about, how this connects to a career, right? And so we have the program will mail out these boxes every day. It's a different box of stuff that they can like really get into and put together. All of the classes are virtual, and so they'll be looking at the instructors using the same materials, walking them through it. And then the instructors will be someone from corporate America, right? And so these are folks that look like them, and are from the communities they're from, who now have, very lucrative positions doing the kind of work that they're learning as high school students, right? And so that's really exciting for students, and we have lots of incentives and fun prizes for them to really make it exciting and worth their while. Bridge Builders runs from 10 a.m. in the morning to 1 p.m. All of our programs over the summer are about 4 hours. They start in the morning, they're over in the afternoon when we start losing, folks' attention, and the hunger pains start going. It's lunchtime. It's getting warmer outside. We say, okay, that's enough. We let them free. And folks are able to kind of enjoy the rest of their day and do the things that they want to do. But in the morning, it's a reason to kind of get up, keep that discipline, be focused, not just, languish. And I'm not calling anybody out. I know for me, I've seen this. I'm not going to say it happens at the buy house, but staying up all night playing video games, and then can't wake up until like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. And so these are the problems with our high school students. They're on their tech. So if they have something to wake up for, it's really great. They can put a little money in their pocket. Before I talk about Project Ready, I wanted to quickly talk about 2 other programs that we have over the summer. If Pastor Rhonda could pull that other slide up for me. We also have BizCamp. I'm not going to talk a lot about that, because I'm going to let Pastor Rhonda talk about this and some of the importance and the really evidence-based practice of this really I call BizCamp the jewel of the Los Angeles Urban League. It's one of our longest running programs and one of our most successful. We absolutely love it. And we absolutely love, what we're able to do with the students and partnering with these young entrepreneurs. So she's going to talk about that. But I did want to mention my one-on-one is our workshop series, which is actually a STEAM program put together that's focused on entrepreneurship. And so again, we're teaching students how to use these different digital technologies and create an e-commerce link where they can learn how to make money from their art and their creations and their labor. And so it's really exciting and fun. And we also have slots available for that. I'm going to let but Pastor Rhonda talk about that. So if we can go back to the Project Ready. So
Uh,
finally, I want to talk about Project Ready. So another thing that I want to mention for parents is, okay, summer enrollment for anybody's summer program, enrollment is going to be limited. So parents need to start early. June 12th, like if you haven't started figuring out what your child's doing for some, start now. After you watch this program, log off. I'm not sure what day this is airing, but log off, stop what you're doing, start looking for programs. June is the month where you like are really running to the max of the limit of the enrollment. So figure it out now. Don't take no for an answer, right? I get this a lot from parents. They come in and they say, "You all did that at BizCamp? What? That's so exciting. Why didn't you tell me about that program? I have a 15-year-old. I have an X, Y, and Z. You didn't mention it to me." And we say, "Oh, well, we sent you like 40 emails about it because you're on our email list. Did you see the emails?" And she's, "Oh, I did see the email. So what happened?" "Oh, well, I asked my teenager about it and they were like kind of, lukewarm. Like, I don't know if I want to do it." And so I didn't decide to pursue it. Okay, so parents, don't take no for an answer. Our biggest success stories in Biz Camp, I'm going to be honest with you. Some of our biggest, not all of them, but some of our biggest are the kids who come in up at the end of the thing, and they say the winners, they won big dollars, and now they're going on to these national competitions. Everybody's taking a picture. Everybody, folks from Pepsi and Hollywood studios want their autograph, right? Because these are the judges for BizCamp. Pastor Rhonda is going to talk about it. But now at the end, so they give their little final speech and they're like, "I didn't even want to come. My mother made me do this." So you wouldn't believe how many times, like, I laugh, right? And so don't take no for an answer, right? We want to find, if your kid has been talking about a business that they want to start up, they want to be a YouTuber, but they don't understand why they need to go to Biz Camp. Like, as a parent, I want to be an influencer. You need to go to Biz Camp, right? And so as a parent, they want to be a gamer. They need to go to Biz Camp, right? So as a parent, you let them know this is something you've expressed interest in. And so if you want to become this, you have to put in some sweat and tears. Like, you have to put in a little bit of skin in the game to get those things that you want out of it. So don't take no for an answer, because you'll never be able to participate in all of these great things. So if you do miss summer, and you don't have a program to enroll your kids, Urban League has thought of that as well, and we want to have some programs to help folks. And so we have Project Ready, which is our college preparatory program. We do a lot of the things that Mr. Steve talked about, that Dove does. The difference is, for us, is the Urban League, we don't do it. We refer people out to places like Dove and Mr. Steve and folks who are doing that level of counseling. And we help connect folks and help support the cost of those things for folks if there's any cost attached to it, whether their program may be free, but there may be other needs that they have, in terms of technology equipment or anything like that. The Urban League is here to support that. And so by enrolling in Project Ready, what you do is you give your self no excuse now for saying, "Well, I didn't know about that." Because once you enroll in Project Ready, as a parent, as a student, and as a family, we're going to make sure that your child is really working towards, and the family is working towards, helping the student achieve their dreams. So we're really thinking about academics in terms of career and beyond, right? I wish I had this when I was an 18-year-old, just happy to get to college, following what the counselor's telling me with the liberal arts degree, right? Instead of really understanding, okay, here's some of the things that I'm good at, and here's how to make it rain on those ideas, right? And not just kind of be a follower or a passenger in my career development, but really take the lead on it. And this is something that other cultures have in abundance, but in my family growing up, in the working class family, a poor family, low income, I didn't have that. I didn't have folks saying, you can be a leader in your career. You don't have to just, get your paper and fill it out and have a counselor kind of give you a roadmap. And so that's the exciting part of Project Ready. That's the exciting part of the work. And we add that extra little bit of support. It's student support, but I say it's for the parents. Parents can't follow the student and the science teacher. Are they turning in the homework? Is all of those things happen? The Urban League can help with that in the Project Ready, because we give each student a counselor. There is basically like they get another counselor on top of the counseling they may be getting from their school, and then from places like Dove, and then you'll have an Urban League counselor. So it's no way, if you're too busy or you get distracted, it's no way you can say, oh, I didn't hear about that, because you're gonna have 3 people calling you saying, Mama, they lying. They didn't enroll yet. We don't have the materials. They lie. They're not lying, but we forgot, or So that's what I love about Project Ready, and everything with the Urban League is absolutely free. We have it free for our community members. So please give us a call at the number, at the link that's in the materials on the flyer, or send an email to info@laul.org and with your question, and we'll point you in the right direction to get you registered and signed up.
Well, very good, Jamika. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely.
So, since you tossed BizCamp over to me, let me
Yes.
go ahead and brag a little bit. So, BizCamp is a program that the Urban League has been doing for at least the last 15 years, where we take students from a bright idea to a completed business plan competition. It used to be a 2-week program, but they were in class all day long. And now it is a 4-week program, and it is virtual, and they go from 8:45 to 12 o'clock. And and it's Monday through Friday, 9 to 12, from July 6th to July 30th. And and we have guest speakers, we have interactive activities. The students will get to know each other, go into breakout rooms. We actually run 2 components simultaneously. We have Biz Camp, which is for new students, and then we have Biz Institute for our alumni. Our alumni, we realize that you can't learn everything you need to learn in 4 weeks, especially as a high school student trying to figure out life. So we want to be with them all the way through the continuum so that they can actually launch their business. Sometimes in the process, they change their business idea, which is absolutely okay. But we give them the tools that they need to be successful. One of the assignments that we do is we loan them $40. And with that $40, we hope that they will purchase something wholesale. We used to take them downtown to the wholesale district and introduce them to that. But they will use that money to either buy ingredients to bake a cake, or materials to put together a project, or to actually buy something at wholesale and just resell it. And we talk to them and guide them through the ideas. We don't tell them what to buy, and we don't tell them no one's going to buy that. But we give them enough guidance to help them figure it out. How much are you going to sell it for? How do you package it? How are you going to promote it? All the 7 P's. We go through that entire process, and then we make available for them sale day. Sale day is where they actually will reach out to their customers, their target market, and actually sell whatever they made. Now, what they sell does not necessarily have to be in line with their business, because this is just a class assignment to see buy low, sell high. But at the end of sale day, they have to return that $40 investment, and they get to keep everything else that they made. And last summer, one of our students made over $1,000 in 3 weeks baking and selling cakes. Now, after she did that, I'm like, what's up with these cakes? So, of course, I had to buy one. Woo, that cake was so good that I actually ordered another one for my birthday. And then, but then they also have a business plan competition. And every student must compete. They must do the business plan presentation. They will, there are financial awards. First place is $750 this year. So, and then 500 and 350. It's a wonderful opportunity to be able to see that their idea is a good idea, not just to them, but also to a judge or a couple of judges along the way. And then every student will receive a stipend of $200 for completing the whole program. But they have to complete the whole program. Okay, that's key, which means they have to get up, they have to be on time, they have to be dressed. You can't just roll out of bed and come to BizCamp. They have to participate, and they will definitely have a good time. So that is what BizCamp is in a nutshell. But I said I was gonna brag a little bit. Well, it's time to brag. The Urban League participated in the Union Bank YEC, which is Youth Entrepreneur Challenge. And there were 40 students. I believe about 10 were in middle school, and the rest were in high school. They actually had 5 classrooms with 6 businesses in each room. And the highest scorer of each room would advance to the final competition level. Well, needless to say, the Los Angeles Urban League came home with first, second, third, and 2 honorable mentions, which means we took first place in every class, and it was a city-wide competition. We are so excited about the children that participated in our year-round Biz Institute program. So that is what can potentially come out of Biz Camp, being part of it in the summer. And as Jamaica indicated, we also have one student who is on their way to the Nifty National Competition, which will air in October of this year, to see exactly how far she has gone in this competition as well. So these are opportunities for students who can actually build businesses, build ideas that can help even fund them through college. And that's where I'm really excited about my one of one that Jamaica just told us about, because it's going to be an opportunity for them to design apparel, place it on the My One of One website. And as long as they promote their business, their design on that website, they will make money. And they can be making money while in college, while in high school, and maybe even a couple in middle school. So, so these are just some of the things that the Los Angeles Urban League is doing to make a difference in the lives of our young people. And when we talk about COVID and the changes that we all have gone through as a result of having to be at home, we talk about the mental health of our children. Giving our children constructive, exciting, interactive activities to do will definitely continue to be a part of helping their mental state. So that's my presentation on BizCamp. Now, there are spaces available. Please sign up quickly. There are many things that have to be done before July 6th, but we welcome. You can reach us out at the Los Angeles Urban League. The website is laul.org. The application is actually online right now and ready to apply. Please fill out the one on the main page. Some of the students were filling out different ones. But if you are an entrepreneur, if you work for a company of business individuals who don't mind coming out and investing into the lives of our young people, we are also looking for volunteers to be business plan coaches, so that the students will have one-on-one opportunity to have somebody talk to them about their business idea. So I'm going to open it now. I'm going to open it for our panelists here to ask questions of one another, to make final comments on something that they just remembered they didn't want to forget. So have at it, team.
I wanted to say there's so much layers here that I'm loving this. I just want to kind of piggyback off of Jamaica, that it does take a village, and these programs definitely have the villagers in it. So we want to see our students succeed, and I totally agree that parents can't do it alone. And don't allow your child to say no, because you don't know who's sitting in that house who can potentially become the next whomever. So again, saying no and just saying, oh, he don't feel like getting up in the morning, or she's too tired, that is not acceptable. So I totally agree with that, Jamaica. Um, and we need to keep promoting these activities, these programs. Again, parents keep saying, I didn't know, if I only knew. Well, it's a two-way situation. We keep promoting it, you respond. So sometimes for me, I get a little discouraged, and so and so doesn't want to do Dove today, and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, I know that she will become a better person. So saying no again is not acceptable. We need to keep promoting it. And I just think the entrepreneurship is something that ties in with Dove. What we want to have our girls learn to be, again, that well-rounded component piece, to be your own self-brand is so important. So I just wanted to end with, go to doveclub.org if you want your daughter to be a participant. We, again, are here to support, mentor, and guide, not just through an 8-week session, but through the lifelong process development of your daughter, of your teenager.
So we need to find that boys club.
Yeah.
Well, that's bridge builders. So the urban bridge builders is the STEAM component, but the Bridge Builders Foundation has a year-round mentorship component. And so they offer, it was started by the Omegas, but now it's Bridge Builders. It's open citywide. It's open, to all cultures and all, creeds. But obviously, we want to focus on our community, because these are where the folks are underserved, and these are where we're needed the most. And so definitely check out bridgebuilders.org, and go to programs, and look for a way to sign up for mentorship. And again, the Urban League is kind of your one-stop shop, right? So if you have a question about looking for some cultural competent services available in your area, we have a lot of folks that reach out to us from, they're in Palmdale, or maybe they're in Walnut, or Reseda. Where are the services at for my child, that I can help them in from our community, and so we can point you to those resources, and help you get that mentorship that you need for your student. Everyone needs it. I loved what Susan just said in terms of, you know, sometimes we get discouraged, or sometimes we all do, and even the students, and say, oh, I don't should it, well, I don't feel like it, or but at the end of the day, if you want to get to that point where your dreams are being realized, and the dreams for your child are being realized, you need help. You can't do it alone. And so being able to say, okay, when I'm tired, rely on someone else to kind of provide that cheerleader, or that give me that sit up straight, that spine I need sometimes. That's what's really needed. And that's what's awesome about having different resources, and looking at different programs. One other thing I want to say is, if you have a student who is struggling, I have a lot of parents that are coming to me right now, and their child is going through something, and they don't know what's going on with my child. Some of it is, our natural, hormones, and our bodies are changing and all that stuff. But the impact of the pandemic, the isolation, not just away from, because people talk about the students, and not being able to go to school in our community. we had a lot of cousins, and we go to see grandmom's house, and we have a lot of family. And so that year being away from the cousins, where the cousins, when you were acting a little wild or you were thinking a little way, and the cousins could say, oh, don't, my grandmama not going to play that, it could kind of pull you back in line. That wasn't happening. And so we found that a lot of our students, the parents are like, what is going on? I'm going to tell you that virtual instruction that is available right now, especially this summer. We don't know if that virtual is how long this virtual stuff is going to be available in broadly and as widely as it is right now. This is a great opportunity. You don't have to worry about sending them maybe over to a park or to a place where you don't know the type or who's there or what are they going to be getting access to or what are they going to be exposed to. You have the security of having them there, but then you have all of this really great evidence-based, high quality, really expensive instruction that you're able to give your students or give your child, and in a way that actually holds them accountable to something, right? The frustration I have in school is that my son will be at this virtual environment and they're in and day out, day in and day out. And I have to wait till report card to see is this even working? Like, what is he getting out of this? With these summer programs that we're discussing, they're doing crafts, they're asking to be filled out forms, to essay write, to move the production of their life, the progress of their life forward. And so you'll see in real time, look, I'm accomplishing these things, and you can do it in the safety of your own home. And so you're able to kind of square those two pegs of things that have been lacking in the past year. And so don't shy away from kind of asking your high school student to take extracurriculars virtually. It's a good experience. Overall, I think they'll get a lot out of it. And I think parents need to embrace the fact that this is good for our kids. So a lot of things that are good for them, might necessarily be gung-ho about right up front. But this is one of those things that are, so let's take advantage of it while it's still widely available.
Awesome.
Jimmy, Jamik, I'm so glad you mentioned that because I was thinking that the whole time I was listening to both you and Miss Susan talk about your programs. And being an educator and being a parent, the first thing that came to my mind as you guys were describing these programs was disguised learning. Because the kids, like you said, they're writing, they're reading, they're conversing. These are all skills that not only are they using when they're in the classroom, but they're going to take them with them in the real world. So even though it's fun, which is there's nothing wrong with it being fun, but they're learning and then they're able to apply it. And then just like you mentioned right now, they're able to see it right away. It comes to fruition right in front of them, their business plan, their business proposal, what it is that they're creating, the discussions they're having. That is what kids really want to that's what kids are asking that should happen in schools, and that's what should be happening in the classroom as well. Being an educator, that's the way I like to teach because the more engaging it is, the more it relates to what is happening in the real world and around them, the more they're going to want to get involved in it and be excited about it. So that way you don't have to worry about them saying, oh, I got to get up in the morning and go to school. No, they're going to tell you, look, you're making me 5 minutes late. I got to get to school now because they're excited about being in the classroom. And even in the summer programs, this is a wonderful way for those kids to just hone in on some certain skill sets and skill levels as they're going through the programs that you guys are offering and talking about. And believe me, they'll bring them back into the classroom because they'll be able to make a connection or correlation. Oh, I did this in this program over the summer, so this is what I can do here as well. And it'll help them out academically as well as socially. So great. Yes, disguised learning at its best.
Wow. So, I think we talked about once before interactive learning. And I expressed that I met this young man. He was 10 at the time, and during COVID. And I asked him how was his learning going? How was he liking, online school? He said, I don't like it. I said, why? He said, because in the classroom, I could ask the teacher questions and she could help me. But online, she's only helping the smart kids. My first response hurt my heart because he did not see himself as a smart kid. But in order to have the conversation that he was having with me, he had to be a smart kid. Otherwise, he would not have made that observation. And so what I want to challenge the teachers, those at the Urban League, those at Dove, those in LA Unified, and those across the nation, you know, do interactive learning for these young people. If you have to get an intern, the Urban League brings in interns. That an intern is watching over 7 or 8 children, to find out, are they paying attention? Are they turning on their monitor? Are they participating? Are they raising their hand? Are they looking bored? So that that intern, while the teacher is facilitating the lesson, the intern is able to tell that child, meet me in the breakout room. And you could go on a virtual breakout room and have a one-on-one. What's going on? You're not paying attention, or your screen's not on. What's happening? Because the reality is we need to ask questions of these young people instead of assuming that they're not paying attention and that they are bored and they don't want to be there. That's not always the case. It could be that their Wi-Fi is not working. It could be that their little brother or sister is at their ankle, and in order for them to really participate, we're going to have to hear those children. It could be that they didn't get any sleep last night. It could be that they didn't get a meal yesterday. Whatever the case, there's so many things that our young people are going through that we need to be mindful of. And so we need to begin to ask questions, but have interactive learning and have help in our breakout in our classrooms so that the children will feel like they have been touched. Even if the teacher doesn't have help, maybe they can just give an assignment, even if it's different assignments, put different, 2 to 3 students in a breakout room, and then go and meet with those small groups. So that one, you can get your work done, you can accomplish goals, the children can learn, and the world can be changed. The world can be changed because we truly have met some young people who are changing the world for tomorrow. Amen.
Amen. They're so
Amen.
inspirational. It's beautiful, especially with giving the tools to see what our children can do. I mean, I live this. I have 17 nieces and nephews. I love it, but when it's nothing like the feeling. This is why I do this work, to see a classroom full of 30 or 40 of our kids of every shade of the rainbow, of every different background. Stumping adults. We're scratching our heads and stuff, and they're excited about it, and they're all the way off on this level, almost teaching us. And we don't see that. We always see what's presented to us is, even when we see our excellence, it's always presented to us as some like largesse from someone else that someone else is giving us. We don't see us in the driver's seat. And so when I see our young kids in the driver's seat, it gives me goosebumps, because one is giving lie to the big stereotype, the big lie, but then it's also showing, wow, our future is it's in such great hands, and look at all the opportunity that are out here. So yeah, it's absolutely inspiring, and our students can do more than they are being asked to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I always think that all the time. That's a American culture anyways. When we were growing up, it was very different, but along with a lot of the laws and the good stuff and the child protection stuff that has happened over the past decade or 20 years, comes this kind of idea that we shouldn't expect anything out of people under 16 or 18, and that's just not the truth. When we grew up, the expectations on different families is different, but some of us is like, was 7, 8, making beds, cooking breakfast, and at the stove, and before you got 10, you had to know how to do the stove and everything, and now I was looking at something, they had fire safety, and they were teaching them how. I was like, wait, this is 9th grade? You mean that's late? So teaching them, how to give our kids a little bit more, give them a little bit more responsibility, and raise the bar for them. And I think they'll raise to that, and they'll rise to that, what we put in front of them.
Exactly. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Susan, Mr. Steve, Jamaica. Thank you for bringing this information to our community, to our social media team, and even to Hope Broadcasting Network, which we will air on I'm sorry, on Hope Broadcast Network. So we're going to have to go out now. But as we always say, until next time, choose life.